Hello everyone! From breathtaking light shows in the night sky to truly terrifying and destructive aftermaths, today you'll witness the power of one of nature's most mysterious phenomena. Welcome to the world of rare footage and fascinating facts about lightning. Let's get it on! The guy sounds worried because he knows there's almost no chance of escaping lightning out in the open near water, but the fearless girl seems to trust only facts. Now they both know for sure. This boy went to the store during the rain, thinking that an umbrella would keep him dry, but he definitely wasn't prepared for this. The poor guy instantly shrank in terror. Now he knows that carrying an umbrella in a storm isn't the safest idea. Lightning struck just a meter away from him. Thankfully, this pal only got scared. A group of friends planned a weekend getaway in Canada when suddenly a storm hit. Have you seen that? It's crazy. The guys managed to find shelter in a cabin, but this buddy here turned out to be the luckiest of them all. Their reaction says a lot. Anyone would be shocked to see something like that. The lightning literally shattered the tree just seconds after their friend went inside. Can you imagine being just a few meters away from where lightning strikes? It's safe to say the feeling wouldn't be pleasant. This guy said his ears were ringing for 3 days afterward. The couple and their son in Vermont decided to have a little camping trip, oddly enough, in their own backyard. And they picked probably the worst possible time for it. Thankfully, everything turned out okay. And after the first lightning strike, the family moved into the house. Get in here, I got that on video. But you can imagine their horror when they returned to the tent after the storm and saw the aftermath. This footage was captured by two storm chasers. They were tracking a tornado when suddenly one of their vehicles was struck by lightning. Oh my god! Don't worry, the driver is okay. You might think it's all because of the rubber tires. They're excellent insulators, but that's not entirely true. It's actually the car's body. See those sparks on the road after a crash? It's because metal is an excellent conductor. Electricity flows through the body and into the ground. That's why experts recommend not getting out of your car or touching its parts if you're caught in a thunderstorm on the road. After that, I bet the poor driver didn't drive again for at least another 6 months. There's no doubt that after that, everyone stuck in that traffic jam wanted to rush home at full speed. Thankfully, despite the shock, everyone stayed in their cars. Imagine this, you've saved enough for a fancy cruise on a luxury liner. When lightning strikes, most of the bolts travel along the surface and disperse over distance. Luckily, fish swim beneath the surface. But if they suddenly decided to stick their heads out of the water, they'd get fried instantly. However, scientists still can't pinpoint exactly how far lightning can travel underwater. For instance, these divers were at a depth of 6 meters. It probably happened because they were handling metal disc brakes while they were busy with the cable setup. The guys are fine, but it's good to remember that during a thunderstorm, there's always a risk no matter where you are. Water attracts lightning because it's an excellent conductor of electricity, which means that objects around it are also at risk. Thank you. When lightning strikes water directly, the shockwave spreads around the body of water for about 100 meters, often hitting the shores nearby. I think that laughter is more like hysterical laughter. The guy off camera realizes how lucky they are to be in a relatively safe place at that moment. But imagine being caught off guard by a storm while enjoying a stroll right out in the open sea. Terrifying. Planes at Atlanta Airport were waiting for inspection before their next takeoff while a storm was raging in the sky. It was probably just a matter of time and chance, but one of them was definitely going to be struck by lightning. What's going on? A Delta Airlines plane happened to be that one. We don't know how the plane handled such a sudden attack, but I'm sure it was fine. After all, planes deal with this sort of thing all the time. Aircraft designers put a lot of effort into ensuring lightning protection, but even with these efforts, it's impossible to guarantee that the aircraft won't be struck. Pilots know that the best way is to fly around storms, but sometimes even that isn't enough. The plane hadn't even climbed to its cruising altitude when a powerful lightning bolt hit it right in the fuselage. Surprisingly, this isn't actually all that uncommon. Statistics show that one lightning strike occurs for every 2,500 to 3,000 flight hours. That means hundreds of planes get struck by lightning every year. Flying can be quite stressful for many, and probably the last thing you want to see through the window is this. Inside the cabin, it might just feel like a thud. This carrier rocket was struck by lightning 10 seconds after liftoff. It seemed like the strike could have fried all systems inside the spacecraft. However, thanks to the careful planning of the engineers, the satellite was successfully placed into orbit. In Texas, a wind turbine caught fire after being struck by lightning. As the turbine continued to spin, it created a curious spiral of smoke in the sky. The fire quickly jumped to the nearby blades, causing them to melt from the high temperatures, leading to parts of the structure falling down. But don't think a turbine's finished after one lightning strike. Blades can generally take about 20 hits over their lifetime. While it's always enjoyable to watch a storm roll in, there are times when nature stages a spectacle that eclipses everything else. Hear that? Even the sports fans couldn't help but get excited when the lightning appeared. It's like Mother Nature wanted to give them a little show during the break, so that they wouldn't get too bored. The guy who filmed this video thought that it was a great idea to capture stunning lightning flashes during a storm. However, he quickly regretted his decision just a few seconds later. A man stepped out onto the balcony of his hotel room with his phone when suddenly, a powerful bolt of lightning struck just a meter away. The guy quickly scrambled back, clearly startled by how close he'd come to a surge of millions of volts of pure electrical energy. While it's nice to be in a warm tropical rain, it's not so great when there are stormy winds and powerful lightning strikes. These three friends vacationing on the coast in Malaysia are really lucky because the beach is perhaps one of the riskiest places during a storm. A lightning bolt can have a current of up to 200,000 amps and a voltage reaching 1 billion volts. This immense power can fry any device in milliseconds. And even though transformers have emergency shut-off systems, it's still not worth the risk. Three guys are sitting in a garage in Thailand during a storm. One of them grabs a wrench to hang it on a nail and suddenly boom! It felt like the lightning was a predator waiting for the perfect moment to strike when the guy touched the hook on the pole. Luckily, he escaped with just a scare and a couple of minor burns, but I bet the experience will stay with him forever. Lightning is a completely unpredictable phenomenon that can strike anything, anywhere, and at any moment. In Western England, the strike was so powerful that it punched through the roofs and floors, leaving gaping holes in 2 houses. Imagine there wasn't even any electricity in either of them that day. It's scary to think how powerful nature can be. It's fascinating how unpredictable lightning can be. It struck a lamppost near a gas station in a city in Brazil, even with so many structures around that could have drawn it like lightning rods. It's amazing none of the cars passing by got hit. Looking at all those sparks, I'd guess a couple of buildings nearby have lost power. Sometimes, lightning is so powerful that it doesn't just knock out important infrastructure or cut off electricity and internet to a neighborhood, but actually causes physical destruction. The chimney likely wasn't made of brittle stuff, but the storm didn't care. It not only struck it easily, but also shattered the top into stone fragments. Workers were just going about their usual business, ignoring the rain and the dark clouds above them. Nature was about to show them how even a small rain could unleash destructive force. The lightning strike was so sudden and close that the man collapsed to the ground, as if knocked over by a shockwave. Actually, he just fell from the shock and fear, and thankfully he wasn't hurt at all. But at least now he's got quite a tale to tell. Hard to believe, but 90% of folks make it through after getting struck by lightning. This fisherman was lucky to land in a lucky bunch. They say that getting hit can mess with your breathing or hearing, but this guy really dodged a bullet. He bounced back quickly with no lasting effects at all. Well, aside from the initial shock, neither he nor his buddies could believe it happened. This couple found themselves uncomfortably close to a severe weather phenomenon. They were relaxing on a beach in Mexico and wisely decided to get out of the water just in time, because a few minutes later, this happened. Some believe that swimming during a thunderstorm is a fantastic idea. Do I even need to explain that this is not the best idea? They were lucky to be in a boat, because swimming anywhere other than in a bathtub during a storm is definitely not a good idea. These mesmerizing shots were captured on a road in South Africa. You can clearly see sparkling beams lighting up the night sky directly above the road where the guy who filmed this video is driving. No doubt he must feel quite uneasy. After all, Mother Nature can take aim at his car at any moment. Seeing lightning close by is always frightening, even if you're in a car, and you can drive away quickly to get far away from the storm. But when you're so close, keeping calm is just impossible. During a storm, big guys on the road like this one are in the biggest danger. Lightning doesn't hesitate and can strike them directly. It's widely believed that predicting exactly where lightning will strike is almost impossible. And here's a bit more proof of just how unpredictable it can be. What's up, mate? There's a boom. Cancer around. Really close to my cancer. Cancer. From a young age, we're told not to hang out under trees during storms. And there's a good reason for that. A man noticed a thunderstorm brewing outside and stepped into his yard with a camera in hand, hoping to capture some beautiful lightning bolts in the night sky. Little did he know, he'd end up capturing even more epic footage. Oh. After the storm, locals noticed that one of the trees was burning from the inside. This often happens when lightning strikes a tree, especially if its trunk is really dry. In such cases, the only way to stop the fire is to cut down the tree. If it's not done in time, the tree will be completely engulfed in flames, and all we can do is wait for it to burn down completely. Some trees crumble like sandy sculptures from a single lightning strike. Can you imagine that power? When lightning strikes a tree with enough force, it can split the tree apart, almost like it bursts from within. This sudden impact causes the bark to peel away instantly, leaving the trunk completely exposed. Right through that. That hits so hard. It splinters into pieces because the moisture along the path of the discharge quickly evaporates and expands, creating immense pressure that tears the wood apart. Lightning can reach temperatures inside that exceed 30,000 degrees, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. That's why it's not surprising that trees often catch fire after being struck by lightning. Sometimes they even start burning from the inside and end up looking like a gateway to hell. Nature can be so astonishing at times that you begin to wonder if it communicates with us in its own way. One man from Minnesota was driving past a church on his way home when he saw this right before his eyes. The man said that he'd never forget that moment. According to him, the church was mostly fine, just some minor issues with the electricity. But thanks to the lightning rod, the building stayed intact. What's it like when a massive electric discharge strikes right behind you? He knows for sure. The chances of getting struck by lightning are 1 in 13,000 over an 80-year lifespan. But in that moment, the poor girl must have felt like the odds were much higher. Some people intentionally play thunderstorm sounds to relax. They say the rumble of the thunder helps to reduce stress. However, it doesn't work all the time. Thunder is the explosive wave that occurs when lightning heats up the air, leading to a sudden rise in pressure along its route. If you count 3 seconds between a flash of lightning and the rumble of the thunder, it means the storm is about a kilometer away. It's a neat trick to figure out how far off the storm is. That was awesome! The most dangerous moment is when thunder immediately follows lightning, like in this case. The sound level can go up to 120 decibels. Just to give you an idea, the pain threshold is around 130 decibels. Have mercy. It is a crackling down on us out here in Paisley, Florida. Just give it a second. Oh! Tall buildings are like magnets for lightning. As you know, storms just love to aim their bright flashes right at skyscrapers, especially the ones that rise above the rest of the buildings and almost cut through the clouds with their spiders. The business is so strong in New Orleans, there's a lot of it. Residents of Mecca in Saudi Arabia captured one of these magical moments when lightning struck the world's largest clock tower during a thunderstorm. It looked so magical that it resembled a scene from a movie, rather than real-life footage. Despite lightning typically striking the tallest objects in an area with varying heights, there are always exceptions. It's ironic that lightning bolts with voltages up to 1,000,000 volts don't instantly power up all the power lines. Instead, they quickly knock them out. That's why lightning rods are set up on houses. They effectively divert lightning strikes away from other structures. Did you know how immense the energy of a lightning flash is? It can be as bright as 100 million electric light bulbs. Remember, lightning tends to follow the path of least resistance. The closer a tall object is to a cumulus cloud, the greater the chance it will be struck. That's why lightning rods, street lamps, and wind turbines often take the hit. Fun fact, one of the most common insurance claims filed by owners of wind turbines is damage from lightning strikes. Picture the thrill on the faces of everyone who saw it happen. It's not something you see every day. Well, who doesn't enjoy lounging in the water during rain? It feels especially warm and pleasant at those times. Of course, there are a few things to keep in mind. An object doesn't have to be moving on water to get struck by lightning. Sometimes even a moored boat can be in danger. I don't know how much it is. If a lightning bolt struck the tree, would we be electrocuted? From this cloud, it's clear that there's going to be a need for some serious repairs and some time to get things back to normal. By the way, here's why they say that it's not a good idea to leave a car when lightning strikes. When those people chose to step outside, the charge immediately hit the open metal door, and this is the result. Holy! Thank you.